afternoon. Welcome to Dodsons Racing Insider News with Scott Allen, and we've got Joe Staples with us tonight. Glad to have him back. Glad he's feeling better. Glad he got moved.
Yeah.
Now
he's just got to unpack.
Now I got to unpack. If I can get in the room to get the boxes out.
Right. Well, have you done all your painting? That's the next bit.
I got one bedroom left to paint.
You're doing good.
But
I got one bedroom left to paint, and I've had it for 15 years and ain't got done yet.
I might have talked to the boss lady about that.
No, you don't either. You need to leave that alone.
What about the race this weekend?
Great race. Kyle Busch won the race. I mean, that was
happy
awesome
for him.
I'm happy for him, but now I want to see him get in the top 30 points.
And you know, that's still going to be a task. I mean, I think he can do it, but it's going to come down to those last few races. If you don't have any trouble, Daytona's going to be a big one for him. But I did not know that him and Kurt had not had a 1-2 finish yet.
I know, that was pretty neat too.
That is a shocker to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't believe it.
And
you know the last time that's happened? 1997, Burton Brothers.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, that brothers have finished 1-2.
I sat there Sunday, and I was begging for Clint Boyer to finally win a race.
I know. I thought, you know, honestly, when that caution come out, I thought Clint was going to be the guy to win because I said, no way I thought those guys were going to pit with 7 laps to go or 8 laps to go. Track position was going to be too big. I said, and he's got it because he was chasing him down there.
Yeah.
And then when they come out, I said, Jimmy Johnson's got it. You might as well put his name on the trophy because there's no way I thought they were going to get to him. And, man, they got to him in a lap or two. And you can see how bad Clint wanted it when he run the 20 car up off the racetrack. And that's really what gave Kyle the spot to go and got by him. And that's really what won him the race.
Yep. Did you see during the course of the race the cleanup truck dumped Matt DiBenedetto?
Yes. Yeah, I did see
the cleanup truck dumped him.
On pit road.
Did what?
Yeah.
He was coming in. NASCAR told the cleanup truck to stay on pit road,
Right.
but you're going to have people diving into pits behind you. Just keep up your speed. Well, evidently they won't think him because DiBenedetto went around in front of him.
He had to have been going too slow.
And
The
work truck.
Yeah.
And he caught DiBenedetto and spun him around into his pit.
Yeah, sure did.
And I sent him a message. I ain't heard nothing back yet. I don't think, evidently it is not a funny topic right now.
Right.
But
I mean, that was the first.
I was listening to Steve O'Donnell this morning on one of the talk shows, and he said that is going to be reviewed immediately.
Yeah, I
He
seen
said that is not going to happen anymore. He says, as a matter of fact, they're even going to have the 83 team come to the meeting so they can, you know, he's point blank saying that Matt didn't do anything wrong. That was just a freak circumstance right there. So that was unusual. I mean, I was sitting there and I said, what happened there? And he's turned around in there and
No, I seen it. I seen it happen. I was like, whoa, I've never seen that happen before.
that was pretty interesting. And then, of course, poor Jeff Gordon. If he ain't got bad luck, he ain't got none.
And I thought he was going to be in good shape when that caution come out, and he stayed out. I said, shit, he'll be able to muster up a top 5, maybe a top 7 or 8, but where did he end up? 13th? 16th.
But they got penalized for throwing that spring rubber. And I sent a message to my contact down there to find out who threw the spring rubber.
I haven't seen that guy before.
I have not got an answer yet.
Was he the jack? He wasn't the jack man. I can't remember if he was or not. Is that one who took the place of Duflax?
No, they were back this week.
Oh, was he?
Yeah. Dion was back. I don't know if the jack man was back. Dion was back with them this week. But I don't know. I mean, and that's another thing O'Donnell said. That's something we're going to have to look at because technically it's not really a taking parts out of the pit stall. It's, do you want to penalize them for it?
It is and it ain't. I mean, it is a part and it is in the pit stall.
Right.
But come on.
And I don't know who the guy was that threw it, and I hope it wasn't somebody I thought was throwing it, because usually he's one of those that goes over there and does that stuff. So I was kind of wondering.
I think I know. I don't know his name, but I think I know who you're talking about. I think I might know who it is. I don't know his name, but I've seen him around the team.
Well, I was thinking it was.
I think he's like a backup.
Yeah, well, anyway.
He's not like a regular member that goes over the wall.
Well, this is not. Yeah, it was not a regular over the wall person.
Yeah.
When they come in to make a change like that,
right?
They usually let the pit stop go through, and then one of those guys drops off, and one of the other guys comes in to do the change or whatever, do the major change like that. So I don't know exactly who it was, but it'll be interesting to find out who it was. But it was a good race. I can't wait to see the K&N race. They said that was just as good.
Yeah, and we had a lot of guys local that did well out there.
Right.
It was unbelievable.
Dalton
finished second.
Second. Man, I'm drawing a blank.
Kaz had a good run.
Yeah, where'd Kaz end up?
Did he end up like 9th, 8th or 9th?
I think he was like 13th.
Oh, was he? He got
14th or something like that.
I was trying to follow it on the computer.
But there was like 3 or 4 guys that finished top 10 or so. So I mean, it was a good.
The East guys that went out there did well.
Yeah.
I mean, the East guys that did well. They all except Mayu. Mayu, that's his track. I mean, he's
right.
done good there before. So he was. I mean, that was his to win. And you see the news today. Jeff's going back to the Rainbow Club.
The Rainbow Warrior. Yeah, I see.
And I also sent another message. I'm probably not going to get no response to that one either. I thought the rainbow meant something else, but
I did afterwards.
And it is kind of funny since the ruling came out.
Yeah, I just kind of.
Awful coincidence there.
I'm not going to say nothing. I'm going to let it go.
People have said some strange things about Jeff over the years.
Oh, yeah.
I know. I got a couple songs that I've got taped about that.
Yeah.
But I don't play them anymore. But yeah. He's
all right, so we got David Mayhew.
Yeah.
Won the race. J.J. Haley, 3rd. William Byron, 5th. Austin Dillon, 6th. Cole Custer, 9th. Trevor Bain, 10th. Kaz, 17th.
Oh,
17th?
he really fell back. He
Ouch.
really fell. He really
Yeah.
fell
He
back.
had a
I think
tough
that's
time at Langley last
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a bad call
I
he
know.
got.
I know.
I think it was a wrong call. But honestly, I don't know if you can answer this or not. Was people complaining on the 19 car out there over the radio? They honestly.
And I don't know, just because I wasn't monitoring the K&N side of the radio.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So
they
you wouldn't
had,
have.
They had me on the.
Dude, they honestly, I think they should have pulled him off the racetrack. He was a nuisance.
Yeah.
He was a.
In my opinion,
He was riding around that track, and he was a catastrophe.
he was.
I mean, that was just pitiful all the way around that track.
He tore what's his name up on the first caution. He was sitting there,
God, what was it?
Sam Hunt.
Yeah.
And he should have had no problem going. He was sitting there for at least 20, well, maybe not 20 seconds,
yeah.
10 seconds or so.
And he just.
The caution
rolled just a
had
little
been
bit
out.
And it clipped him. I mean, should have been no reason why that they got that close for the contact. So.
No, absolutely not. He should have been slowed down by then.
Yeah.
2, it's like nobody told him nothing. He just, the car's there.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
And that was sad because he was doing good too.
Yeah, and it's kind of it's kind of a hometown guy,
Yeah.
and he was hoping to do well, and that was just ruined. So.
Some other big news this week: Rick Godovic has bought Viva Motorsports.
Congratulations, Rick.
Yeah,
I think
that's a big deal there. I've heard some rumblings about what's gonna take place, but I'm sure he'll tell us next week or when we have him on the show.
Yeah, and I guess it's not going to move to this area. He's actually got a lot of stuff's going to move down to Canaan. Stuff is going to move down to China Grove.
Yep.
To the shop down there. Mm-hmm. And good for what's the guy's name? I guess with the whole diabetes thing, kind of.
Jamie Digg. He bought it from Jamie Digg. He's still going to have interest in the team, not as an owner, but as I think Rick is going to keep him there as a.
He's a really nice guy.
So,
I don't know if you've seen. He was the guy when he first come back after his not diabetes. Yeah.
yeah, what's that?
Diabetes.
Episode there, and he got taken out of the car for a while. When he first come back is when that piece of tungsten went through the windshield and hit the side of his helmet.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Which was lucky, man. That guy's lucky.
But I think
that's
it's
big
really
news.
I think that's really big news. And
For
the 55 car will be back, I heard, in 3 weeks. Is the plan to get it back on the track in 3 weeks?
Yeah, because there's a couple races that Brandon
Godovic.
has got some experience at, so I think they're talking about bringing him there. And I will say, I'll give him some credit because he's obviously doing pretty good in that Lamborghini.
Yeah.
He's doing pretty well in that thing. But the last few years with the K&N team, although they're competing against, when you're competing against, I keep wanting to say Turner Scott Motorsport, they're like the Rick Hendricks of K&N series.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They are the guys to beat. I personally didn't think that the resources that what's the race team?
Viva.
No, the Godovic's team.
Precision Performance.
Precision Performance. To me, I was a little disappointed on with the resources they have. I would have thought that they had ran better than they had. But I will say, Brandon did a really good job in the couple of, what did he run, 3 races or 2?
But you also have to remember now with that team, they were not expecting to run the full series at the beginning of the year. That happened a little later when they got Greg Dalton over there.
Well, I'm talking about even the last couple of years. Brandon has won a K&N race. I can't remember which one it is.
Greenville Pickens, 2 years ago.
Yeah. But since then, they just haven't done as well as I thought they should. But like I said, they're running against the Rick Hendricks of the K&N series because it doesn't get any better than the Harry Scott Motorsports, without a doubt. But I want to say Brandon did a really good job. The 2 races, I think, in the 55 car. 2 tracks that I don't think he's been to before. I think he was either in a timesheet or qualified 26 or so with a team that is a 30th team. They've had Earnhardt's grandson driving it some, and they've had some sponsorship, but they haven't done that well. And I think Brandon probably did as well as any of them had in there. So I gotta give it to him.
And I'm sure we're going to see Greg Galden in the car. So I'd be willing to bet it.
I don't know that because he's got a contract with Toyota. Unless they plan on switching over to Toyota, because he's a GM. I'm pretty sure.
I think it
no,
is.
it might be Ford. And it's not Toyota.
Well, we'll see how that works out.
Yeah, it'll be curious. But and then you got the 2 Xfinity teams that swap crews too. The Childress teams, the 3 and the 33.
Well, they didn't try change crews. They changed
crew chiefs
and engineers. The 33 engineer and crew chief went to the 3 crew chief.
Yeah, I don't know who the crew chief on the 3 is.
Danny Stockman.
That's right. I knew him.
Who was it?
Danny Stockman.
Okay.
And then Nick's going to be over there.
Nick's going to be on that one. This week, they were talking about Todd Parrott is going to call the shots for the 33 this week
the Cup
car.
Right.
I've also heard that may be a change coming down the road on that one too, as far as a permanent.
Yeah, that's kind of. It's going to be curious. I think there's going to be a lot of changing in house over there at Richard Childress Racing. So what other news we got?
That was basically mine.
I've been playing with this computer. I ain't had time to study this today.
All right, I told Vaughan, go ahead and give us a call. And we got Joe Staples just chomping at the bit over there to say something bad about Scott.
Oh, I see he's building a new race car back there, man.
Yeah.
He said it's going to be faster than the last ones he had.
Well,
It better be. But I'm doing it right. It's
So wait a minute.
it's
What are you doing
now?
other people's money.
So now, it wasn't you. It was the person you were driving for.
What do you mean? We mean me. It was never me.
The equipment he was provided with.
So
to
the
drive.
equipment you provided with was subpar.
Absolutely.
I'm not going back to Langley and hang out in that section no more.
It was actually top-notch equipment when he was selling it to Jerry.
Right, exactly.
Well, so have we got anything firmed up where we're going to be able to have a little announcement service?
We are. We're just waiting to get the cart together, get it wrapped. The body's over. They're coming up with some designs, not this week, but next week. And then we'll get that back, and we just got some more designings, getting it together, and then once we get it together, we'll kind of announce it all, and then we'll have the sponsor here and have a.
When do you think you'll be on the track?
Our plan is just to be ready for next year.
Okay, but I know
we start doing some shows. It
No?
just depends. It depends. I wouldn't mind to, but we start doing some shows in September. I don't really want to be scratched up.
4, 8, 3,
Prior.
2, 5, 2, 0.
All right, now joining us on the show is Vaughan Crittenden. How you doing, Vaughan?
How people doing today?
We're doing great. So, how's everything in your neck of the woods as far as the racing stuff out there at Langley?
Oh, I've had honestly a banner year. The last 2 years, I've only been running part-time since I've been in college, but I graduated this past May and been able to do the full season in the Robert Claiborne Camp Carts, and so far it's been a pretty good season.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting that and congratulations on graduating from college too. That's a big deal. And
Thank you.
but it's kind of the champ carts out there are very interesting to watch. And I know you got rid of one guy last year, Scott Allen. You probably know him. He's not running anymore.
We ran in the back together.
Yeah, we used to run quite a bit. I had a hill handling cart. He had a good handling cart. No, I'm kidding. No, yeah, we worked together a lot. He either qualified in the same spot quite a few times last year.
All right, wait a minute. I got to get to the bottom of this then, because now I know you done won races this year.
I have.
What have you done different that? Well, Scott, he's getting ready to build one for next year. So
Right.
I want you to tell us.
I need you to come over and set it up for me.
Well, really, the secret this year has been just everything finally comes together. In years past, I've either had trying to race on a vent chassis, trying to do something with a bad motor, my tire game wasn't good. Just had a lot of bad luck over the past few years. Some of it from myself, some of it just racing. But this year so far, it seems to have been all good luck, and I'll keep taking every bit of it that I can get.
So, Vaughan, you've been doing some announcing or interviewing and stuff at the racetrack, and I guess you went to college for that. So, what is your long-term plan here? And what did you go to school for?
Well, I went to school actually for video and cinema with a minor degree in sports communication. So I did have a few announcing things, but the main part of my degree was actually doing video, which is the reason why I've done a lot of the Langley commercials this year. I did the Hampton Heat promo last year, and a few other things that I try to get out in my free time.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool that Bill's allowed you to come in and do those things. I mean, that's a great experience for you. I don't know many kids that just come out of college get to do. To me, it's a big deal to do a commercial in general, but for the racetrack, for a sport that we all here love.
No, and my passion is definitely there. I was able to start doing a lot of this back in 2013. I did a marketing video for myself. I was trying to promote myself just racing-wise, and I got the attention of Chuck Paul. So he brings me in his office and wants to do some video work. Well, that actually translated to me doing the website, which I've now rebuilt, and it's online. Obviously, it's a website. But it's also a mobile version this year, which is something I was very proud to get up and going. And then the job kind of started getting different roles as I went on. Started doing social media aspects, then started bringing new social media. Then finally I was able to start bringing in a lot of the video work that I do now for the Speedway. And then announcing came in the late part of last year after I did a lot of talking on the mic when I was promoting my Langley Speedway Peak project back in late 2013.
You've had a lot going on with going to school and doing all that too, plus the racing. You got a lot going on.
Yeah, I do. A couple weeks ago we had a rain shower that kind of switched the night around. Usually the champ cart's the first race at night, so when I'm done, I get out of the champ cart, get out of the driving suit, put on the Langley polo, and then jump to the front stretch to start announcing. But we had rain a couple weeks ago, so our order got switched. So I went out in my driving suit with the mic, called the first race or two, then went back in the pit, got in the cart, raced, and won that night.
Yeah, we know. We would have.
That was a crazy night. And then went back in the pit, went through tech, went back out, because that modified race that night took so long, had so many cautions, I didn't miss anything.
So what got you into racing, Vaughan? I mean, I don't know if your dad raced or not or what have you, but what drew you into racing?
I actually grew up in an incredibly passionate baseball family. My grandfather went semi-pro. My cousins, uncles, dad, they all played in college. But I sucked at baseball. I really did. I was terrible. I sucked at pretty much any sport that required any running, jumping, anything. So when I was a kid, I started liking NASCAR, and then this is the funniest story. My sister, who just does not like racing, does not like anything about it, all that stuff, is very adamant about it. I think she just hates it because I love it. But anyway, she comes home from school one day. She's like, Vaughan, I got this friend named Curtis, and he races go-karts. Isn't that stupid? Well, I'm talking about Curtis Hughes. Him and my sister went to school together.
Okay.
And through that, I went, really? He's a good race. So my parents started talking to Curtis's parents. And later that year, when I was 12, I started racing go-karts in the Hampton Road Car Club. That's kind of how it began.
Now, are you a Jeff Gordon fan? Is that where you got your number from?
Yep. I started finding NASCAR, mid-late 90s on the TV by myself, and that was definitely when Jeff Gordon was at his prime. So that's how I became a Jeff Gordon fan.
So you're excited about the new rainbow scheme he's going to be racing at Bristol?
I was tickled to death to see that, because I honestly was going to think, like, wow, we're getting it. Tomorrow's July, if they announced it paint scheme, it probably would have already happened. So I was really happy to see they did that. I really wish it wasn't Bristol. I wish it had been a race that I could probably get to myself. But, I'm happy to see it back in my car. I know a lot of race fans are as well. So nothing but good can come from it.
Yeah, and my son works on the 24, and they're excited about it because they're getting a lot of publicity about it. They're getting a lot of people coming in, and everybody's really, really behind this one race effort so far, and they think it's going to probably end up being 2 or 3 races.
I hope it does, but what I really hope more so for that team is that it brings them something to get behind. They've had such a struggle this season. Every week it seems like they run into bad luck, kind of like what I've had the past few years, but, I think they're heading in the right direction. They're learning a lot of things. I'm hoping as the summer goes on and they race Daytona, anyone can win there, so I hope he gets a chance. And I really want to see him win at Kentucky because that's the one track left on the schedule that he does not have a W.
Yeah, they were talking about that too. They would really love to win that race, and I think they're really pushing hard to win again at Indy. They really want that one bad too.
Well, I think they'd want to win every weekend, but definitely win the Brickyard 400.
Well, I mean, I know they want to win every week, but I think they put this special little bit of effort towards the races that that they're really big into, and
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying.
But now let's go back to your racing a minute ago. You said something about you had bad luck last year, and this year things have been turned around. Is there anything that you could say that has a coincidence that Scott Allen's not racing anymore?
I knew
you never know.
That's a
you
good
never know.
point.
For instance, the first how I got my first win of the season this year was
A little
I was running
controversial.
second. God, bear with me here. I was running second behind Charlie Laura. He was first that night so far. As we came to the last lap of the race, we came up on a lap car, much like Scott Allen used to run the rest of his races. Anyway, as I came up on the lap cart, I dove off Charlie's bumper and set the lap cart, hoping I would be able to get around Charlie. Well, the guy who I hit, I don't think he wasn't expecting it, so he didn't quite know what to do with himself. And we tried to go to the outside, Charlie started to block us heavily, and we came across the finish line inches from the concrete wall, and then he drove us down into victory lane. So they disqualified Charlie for blocking and gave me the win, but it was that last part that gave me the opportunity.
That was Gary.
Oh, that was Scott's old cart, then, is what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
Let's revisit
exactly.
this question a year from now, okay?
Yeah.
Well, I gotta say, Vaughan, you did something that probably nobody has really thought about doing, and I don't blame you, honestly. I mean, I know Charlie was mad about it, and I think there for a while he was real mad about it, but I think in the end, he understood. He just mad that he lost.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
that's, to come across the finish line first thinking you win, then on the backstretch being told you didn't, is definitely quite an emotional roller coaster to go through.
yeah, I know last year I was racing with Ryan one time, and man, I don't know how many times he run in the side of me and slowed me down, and then we couldn't get by him, and then he ended up going further up. I was so mad over that, and I was like, I'm not just so mad at you, I'm just mad because it was you and you got the best out of it. If I'd have finished in front of you, I wouldn't be as mad.
Right.
But
yeah, no, I understand. I mean, I've lost a race in the tech set before just because I didn't have a gasket somewhere, and that was back when I was like 14. I didn't know what I was doing. So I know what it's like to think you have a win and then you don't.
Mm-hmm. So who helps you with your card? I mean, are you just doing most of all that yourself?
It's kind of interesting. Over the years, I think everyone in the swing carts has helped me at some point. I'm a community effort, it seems like, some weekends. But a lot of my help in this year has been with Elise's, Matt, Aaron, and Harriet, and giving me great advice all season, helping me with setup, helping me become the driver that I have been today. And obviously also Bill Mullis' guidance. He's been my crew chief off and on, pretty much steady since 2005, so long before he was ever the president of the kart club or the track owner. So all those guys' help has been really the reason why we've had the success we've had this year. Just this year, finally, everything came together. We saw a glimpse of it at the end of last year when I got my first top 10 in, I think, like a year and a half at the end of the season. And then this year, we haven't finished outside of it.
No, you've definitely been running well this year, and congratulations for that. What's it like to work with Bill Mullis at Langley Speedway? Because, he is, I wouldn't say has gotten a reputation, but in a good way, that I think he's been really, really good for Langley Speedway, and I really hope that he can acquire the racetrack and it moves forward with Bill Mullis, because I really don't know where it would go without him.
Right, now, Bill's phenomenal for Langley. The things that he's done since he came there in 2009 and took it over have been phenomenal. I mean, when you think of all the different things, the Canyon race we had 2 weeks ago, fantastic. Seeing the track on TV. The things he does for the track is amazing, and working for him is great because it's unique for me because I started out as a young, stupid racer, and he was my mentor. And that's kind of how we went. And for so long, Bill gave so much to me, and I really didn't have much to give him. But when I started doing the media stuff at the track, I was finally able to repay him for all the help he's given me all these years. And we have a great friendship. We have a great bond, because he'll help me with the cart, and then I promote the hell out of his racetrack. So we're doing good, and I look forward to keeping the partnership with him and Langley for many, many years.
Yeah, he's been really good to us too. He's kind of helped us out too with some stuff and getting us involved over there at Langley. With like tonight, this is our Langley Speedway segment with you, and he's really been great to us, and I think it's going to be beneficial down the road that he gets that track and keeps it growing, because I think go ahead.
Absolutely, they got there's a lot of great ideas in the making, when everything gets settled out at the racetrack. And, obviously I can't tell you guys anything that's happening behind the scenes, but, the Langley's future is bright. Near future, far future. I mean, my God, we got Sam Hunt in concert in September. I mean, that's outrageous. And anyone who was at the Lee's Riders concert last year knows it's crazy to see some massive 3-story stage set up in the pit burn 3 and 4.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard it was a great turnout. I mean, it was, and obviously because that's why they're doing it again this year. So, Vaughan,
Right.
what is your plan for the future? I mean, do you plan on racing a lot more, moving up, or do you want to go into production in the NASCAR? I mean, obviously, I think you want to be involved in NASCAR in some way, shape, or form, or is it like PR, the TV side of it? What is your loosely plan here?
Well, I gotta say, I'm racing with a lot this year, knowing this is probably my last chance at a championship, my last season at Langley, because right now, I am graduated, and there's not much in the industry around this area that's big. I've applied to jobs in Charlotte, waiting to hear back for those. There's a lot of opportunities I'm trying to take advantage of right now, but a lot of them definitely lead me into the Charlotte area, in NASCAR productions, media, PR, whatever, fruit shakes from the tree first, I'm going to grab it. But, I don't know where I'll be after this season at Langley. I honestly didn't know where I'd be this season, but I'm still here at home right now, so I'm going to keep racing for that championship while I'm here.
All right, well, we appreciate you taking time out tonight to be with us, and hope everything works out good. Glad you got Scott Allen off your back, and you can go ahead and do some racing now. And but we really enjoy having you on, and thank you for being a part of our Langley Speedway segment. And we'll see you out at the racetrack.
All right, sounds good, guys. See you soon.
All right, man. Take it easy.
Fun.
Bye.
He is a really good kid.
Yeah.
He's a little quiet. He's very smart, and he is pretty good at the whole video
He
stuff.
revamped the website and all that other good stuff, and I mean, it
Might be a
looks nice.
person to talk to.
So he's
I
done-
was
he's done an
thinking
excellent
that when he
job.
said it, but
But yeah, and I think it's great too the way Bill has done as these kids that have grew up in the karting, Hampton Roads Karting Club. If a kid wants to start in karts, it's a great place to start. The kids that have kind of grown up and they've gone to school, and they've gone to school for these things that benefit. Just coincidentally, Curtis that he was talking about that got him into racing with his sister, works at the racetrack and does some of the stuff that Vaughan does, and they both. I just think it's a great marriage for two. It's good for the racetrack, and kids come along and they get to work in a professional sporting event and learn some of the ins and outs to maybe go further in their career.
yeah, I think it's really good. I mean,
Not a whole lot of people have those opportunities.
Right.
I've kind of looked at the Langley Speedway compared to some other speedways that I've been to in the last few years.
It's
And I don't-
apples and oranges.
I don't think anybody compares to Langley Speedway for the atmosphere, the type of people that you're working with there. Bill Mullis and all his staff there.
But
It's just completely different. And then you go to a place, and I'm not going to name the place, so I don't want nobody jumping on my case. But you go to another place that I went to last year, and you go down there and you feel like, hey, I'm in a position just to be here. And because they really don't want you involved in what they're doing.
and that's why I say I think a lot of it to me is Bill Mullis. Because Bill is not, one thing, he's not scared. He's not scared to do something. He's not scared to try it, and he'll ride it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. No, and that's a good leader. And the social media side that he's pushed with Vaughan and Curtis, those are some of the things where you're, let's face it, today, every kid knows how to work this thing better than you and I do.
Yeah.
And if you want to get further in that, you got to be social. You got to be social media, Twitter, Periscope. The new thing's Periscope, and that's what Vaughan had rung to Langley not long ago, and they had like 25 people viewing. And those are things that the fan choice TV, watching the race from home. Those are things that Bill has done and said, let's do it, let's try it. That's great.
Yeah, he's done a wonderful job of trying to keep everything together over there like he has. And to know that he is not really
And he's a racer at heart.
Yeah, but he's not really the owner of the track. He's kind of just, he's doing it out of his situation.
He's doing a lot of it out of his own pocket.
Right, well, I'm saying he's doing
And I
it.
don't think a lot of people. I've gotten the kind of the feel of it, not by everybody in the pit area, but I think at one time people just thought, he's making plenty of money. Truth be known, the racetrack's not making any money.
Yeah.
And people in business understand it, and they know that.
Right.
I mean, you can count the stands and know that there's no way they're making any money. They're not making, with the lease being as high as it is, why go somewhere and break even?
Well,
I mean, he truly does do it for the love of it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Of the sport.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And he does project that to us as a staff out there as well. And to me, it's been a great experience working with him. He is an awesome owner of the track, I guess.
And he's a no nonsense.
Yeah.
Definitely a no nonsense. You don't think so? Ask Danny White.
Yeah.
Danny's not allowed to drive at a racetrack. I think they did let him practice one time.
Did they?
Yeah. For I don't know how many years now. He's
Now,
not scared, and he
fun-
ain't scared to tell you.
the funny thing is, the first time I ever paid any attention to Bill Mullis was 3 or 4 years ago, or 2 or 3 years ago, whenever it was. I saw a YouTube thing about him and Chase Pistone and all that group up there.
That's a sore subject right there.
I saw that and I'm thinking, who is this guy here? But he did not take any flack from any of them guys.
No.
You're going to do what I tell you. You're going to run like we want you to run out here.
And that's it.
Or you're out of here. You're not coming back here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Chase Pistone and the other guy that was with him, they kind of looked like, well, wait a minute now. You're not even giving us an opportunity. You don't have an opportunity to talk. I'm talking.
It's Chris Lemons.
Well, I didn't know who it was.
Was it Chris Lemons? Was it?
Yeah, they were both banned from the racetrack for a while.
Oh, God.
That was pretty wild. I sit there and going, gosh.
It's on YouTube?
It's on YouTube.
Not anymore.
anymore.
Oh, it's not anymore?
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I don't know that you can find it because somebody made a fake YouTube channel and posted it, and I ain't gonna name no names, Chris Lemons, that posted it, and then it was just all deleted.
Okay.
Well, I'm lucky enough I got to see it then because
Yeah, it's not out there no more.
I heard about
it was a big thing, and they were both banned. And I think since then, Chris has been allowed to come back to the racetrack last year sometime, but he was definitely gone for a year or so.
Yeah, it was.
And that cost him, Chris Lemons, because he owned the bandos and it was called Little Race Cars, the bandos and the Legends car locally in Yorktown, and worked and Pistone worked for him, but that has been it's gone. It's no longer around. It was pulled from him.
Yeah, that was a pretty interesting. That whole conversation was pretty. But I was thinking the whole time I was watching it back then, this guy ain't gonna put up with a whole lot of stuff. But then again, maybe some of these racetracks need somebody like that that's not going to put up with it. Because I've seen things when I was racing at Southampton Speedway that the track kind of, well, all right, we're going to let this go this week, but don't do it next week. But then the next guy, in the next race, does the same thing, and they all over him.
Well, I'll give you a couple of examples. You're talking about that. Remember, I don't know if it was the same year you're talking about that video, CE Fault got DQ'd. That's the last thing that Bill Mullis wanted, is for his championship driver and national points that, let's face it, there for a few years was the face of Langley Speedway and was a big name, won the Denny Hamlin Showdown. It was a big publicity with him, Langley Speedway, and for him to get DQ'd, Bill is not going to tolerate it. And I think that is contributes to why we have outsiders come into Langley Speedway and race, because they feel like that they have a fair shake.
shot. Yeah.
And it's true. They're not going to tolerate it. Wyatt got DQ'd a few weeks ago when I was there. His dad that owns the race car works the racetrack and owned the racetrack one time. He was still DQ'd. There is no favoritism. It's cut and dry. And I think that contributes to other people, and I think that's why Langley Speedway has done better than some of the other racetracks where they're going to protect their big driver that it's a draw.
Yeah.
Where it's cut and
You
dry.
just want some good fair racing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I believe, I can't remember the guy, I don't think it might have been Lee, says that's why they don't mind coming there and running and coming for the Hampton Heat, where before they didn't think they had a shot because you're not going to come and run against Greg and Danny Edwards and CE, which I guess CE is going to be back for the showdown. They have a fair shot. They feel like it's an even playing field. Maybe because when is the Hampton Heat? That's the 26th of next month?
25th or 26th
Next month?
of July, yeah.
So, okay, well, yeah.
Yeah.
I might as well say this month. So a couple weeks away. So maybe we should try to get a hold of CE and see about having him on for.
What is CE doing these days?
He's still racing. I seen him post some pictures the other day that I guess he's still racing. He's racing down there in the Carolinas. The last I remember when we had Joe, his uncle that owns the 33 and the 40 team, he was doing front ends or putting front end parts and shocks and stuff together at the Cup shop. So I'm not real sure. I thought I'd heard he had left, but he's still down in Carolina and they're still racing, but I don't think they're racing like he was. And I'm surprised he didn't really get more opportunities, to be honest with you, because he did well enough. I thought he deserved some. I mean, he did get a couple truck races, but that was with the team that his uncle's affiliated with.
And they didn't do very well.
No, they ran at Martinsville. I think was his first race, and in a couple other places. And I don't think their truck teams were doing that well at that time, honestly. And then they ended up closing down. Travis started parked for him and drove for him a little bit there for the Hillman brothers.
Yeah.
Because the Hillman brothers are actually involved. You know, they all, I don't know who all owns the team there, but Joe's the bigger one of the team.
You know, CE was a fantastic little race car driver.
He is.
And I would like to see him in some way to find a way to stay in it. And you know, in this past weekend, Hillman's car had Austin Dillon in it.
Yeah.
It didn't have Travis in the car this week. It had Austin Dillon in it, and you know that would seem to me that would be that would be a good situation for him to maybe move to a K&N car or something. Even to the Cars series, the Cars Pro Club series.
He may be running some of those. I really don't know, but I think it's just boils down to money. Is the biggest thing is sponsorship and money. I mean, Joe would have loved to put him in a ride, but they just don't have the funding for him. And I think sometimes too, in my opinion, I think when you grew up in a family with some resources sometimes it can hinder you searching for sponsorship. I know when I was working on late models, we had Junie Nelson, has been around forever. Well, they did the Bush series when the Bush series first started, and Bob Jr., which his dad owned almost all the junkyards in the area, Ingram's Auto Mall. And I remember hearing them stories about he would go, of course, he would fly there in his Learjet and wearing a $20,000 Rolex, going to a board meeting asking for $100,000. You know, so those people would look at him. Well, you got a $20,000 Rolex and you're driving. You know, you flew up here. I mean, he was flying around late models and Bush series like the guys are doing today.
Right.
Then and you know, of course, they don't have nowhere near those resources now. Right. But I think in the beginning, sometimes having those resources, I think, hurts you to those things, because I think some other teams that would have gave him a shot would say, well, his uncle's a Cup team owner, and so I mean he'll be fine, or he'll get a ride. There's no need to invest my money in him because he's just gonna go to his uncle and drive for him. So sometimes I think it can be a hindrance.
I can see that. Yeah. Afraid to put an investment in on him.
Yeah. So it just doesn't work good that way. But
what are you looking at?
I don't know what you was looking at. So, I'm waiting on Dalton Sargeant to call. Haven't heard. You know, I just sent a message to find out what's going on. I know he's out of town. He's supposed to call.
Ran second in the K&N race.
Ran second in the K&N race this weekend. Ran third.
Did he lead any laps?
I don't think he led any laps.
Let's say he was running second. I watched the thing to 8 laps to go, and then he fell to third. And actually, he didn't really get roughed up. Did you watch the
No,
race?
I didn't see it.
Who ended up finishing second?
Gosh, I can't remember.
K&N race.
Yeah, and we just said their names earlier.
Well, that was for the West race. We're talking
okay.
at Langley.
Oh, at Langley.
Yeah.
Oh, daggone it. I do know who it was.
We thought Dalton got roughed up. He was running second all night, and then
Yeah.
about 8 to go, the other guy got under him coming off of 4, and when they went down into 1, he was just under him a little bit, and he tried to pinch him, and he said, "Nah." So he went up, and he went on by. It was just kind of one of those races. He was trying to, I can't remember who it was.
Call
Yeah.
from
And
Block his
I'm
position.
even picturing it because he almost he
Yeah, 'cause it
came
was-
up into 2 right there
right.
in my turn.
5.
Hello, is this Dalton?
Yes, this is Dalton.
How you doing, Dalton? This is Jack Dodson. I got Scott Allen and Joe Staples here on our show tonight. Welcome to the show. Man, you had a good run out there in California this past weekend. Give us a little background on it.
Yeah, it was a really good run, actually. The entire Harry Scott Motorsports Mark team did a really good job. It was my first time personally running a K&N car on a road course, and it was just an absolute blast. Being able to go out there to Sonoma and be able to compete with some of those guys like David Mayhew. He's a veteran around that place, and really good. Was able to learn a lot of things that I think is going to help us out a lot when we go back to the K&N East Series to run at VIR as well as Watkins Glen for the K&N East schedule. So really looking forward to that. Overall, everything was a really good run. We had a good start to the weekend. We were fast all week throughout practice. Actually led us out to lead a lot of laps and gained a lot of experience running out there at Sonoma. So it was a really good experience overall.
Damn. So I mean, was this your first road race period?
No, actually, in my background, I grew up road course racing. Ran a lot of road course style go-karts, and then from there, actually began, running a little bit of open-wheel Formula cars, all road course style. And then last year was my first year making the transition over to stock car racing.
Okay, so you were actually really looking forward to the road race then.
I was. The road races are kind of the highlight for my season. It's kind of like I'm going back to where I started, really. So it's pretty cool to be able to go out there and run a road course event.
So what got you started in the races? How did you get started in the racing to begin with?
I got started into racing I actually got a go-kart for Christmas one year, and just started kind of pounding around at the local racetrack down in South Florida. And from there, once we got good at a local level, we kind of moved on to a regional level, and then from regionals it went to, like states and then nationally, and started winning some national championships in go-karts. And originally was actually pursuing like a Formula One style career almost, and actually moved over to Europe for 3 years, where I was running go-karts over in Europe, and then began running some Formula cars over there as well.
I don't know if anybody else did that except Ashton Lewis did that for a few years, I think, and came back and went nationwide racing.
Well, you've got a lot going on.
Definitely.
I've been kind of following along in your career a little bit the last couple of years. You've developed really good. You've got some good people behind it. How'd you get hooked up with Harry Scott and Justin Marks?
Harry Scott and Justin Marks pretty much actually came from Turner Scott Motorsports, and just looking at their background and the people that they have working with them, they're just overall a great group of people and exceptionally talented, really smart. They all work together really well, which I think really helps the entire five-car team perform well. You look at their background, and last year they won the K&N East Championship with Ben Rhodes. In the year prior, they actually won with Dylan Blazewski as well. So definitely they had a great background, and going into it, looking at it, they're a very strong team, and wanted to be able to pair ourselves with a team that we knew we would be able to run well with, and hopefully be able to learn a lot from to help myself through the down career.
So how does it work over there at Harry Scott Motorsports when you guys got 5 teams? How much information do y'all share with each other on the weekend, or how much do you guys talk to one another to help learn a race?
pretty much, whoever needs information is free to ask whatever they need. If any of the ones of one of the 5 teams is struggling, they'll go to one of the other teams who's running pretty well, and ask them for help. And it always changes, one week from the other, where everybody's always coming over, sharing information, asking help from not only driver standpoint but also teams. So I feel like being able to have 5 teams, we can all try different things out at the racetrack, and then we'll sit down and have a meeting and relay to each other what worked and what didn't really.
So this weekend, was everybody coming to talk to you, being you were the best of the Harry Scotts?
There was 3 of us out there, and overall, I'd say just from my background a little bit, did have a few questions there. William Byron, my teammate, he was also pretty quick, so I think we were chatting with him a little bit, just talking about each other, and J.J. Haley, another one of my teammates, actually, he runs a lot of road courses as well, so we all kind of have a different style and a different outlook on things, and we all just wanted to help out a little bit with each other, and went out there for it.
Well, it's got to be cool to have all those people and the experience that Harry Scott and that group over there has got. It's got to be good to know that when you go to the racetrack, you got equipment that's probably going to be one of the top cars out there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they do an exceptional job at building the race cars and putting in all the effort and the work and the detail into the cars to be ready each week. And once again, I think having 5 teams really just helps that out, because everybody works so well with each other. At Harry Cutler has worked with Justin Mark at telling each other what they've learned from prior years of running there, and what worked and what didn't. So I think every time that we put it back, we all have a baseline setup of what worked the year prior, and that's where we all kind of start at.
You seem to have a good crew around you. Your crew chief. How well do you get along with your crew chief? Are you all like one happy little family there, where you know exactly what each other's doing?
Yeah, I'm working alongside with Chris Bowen as my crew chief, and as well as Dave Adams as the car chief, and they both just do an exceptional job. We really see eye to eye with each other, and when it comes to decision making, each of us has confidence with each other, and whatever one says, we believe is positive information, and we trust in each other to both make the correct decisions and give good feedback to one another on what the changes will make to have our car perform even better.
Well, you've got a good situation over there, even though you do have Dave Adams working with you. I mean, every team has to have a weak link. I guess Dave's it. Hello?
Yeah. Dave, he does a really good job.
Yeah,
I wouldn't call him too much of a weak link at all.
I know. He's a good friend of mine. I just, I got to tease him a little bit. He's coming on the show after you, and I have to tease him a little bit. I got to make him feel like, he's doing something. He's doing something.
Yeah, no, Dave, he definitely puts in 100% effort in everything that he does. So I can't say anything bad about him, because he definitely does a good job.
So you don't have a funny story about Dave?
None that I can share.
All right, well, we're going to ask him if he's got any funny stories on you. So.
Right. So be prepared.
Yeah, I hope
not. So how old are you?
I'm 17 years old.
You're getting old.
Yeah, man.
You're getting old, man. I have a hard time dealing with the fact you're 17 and doing as good as you're doing, and I ain't never get that good.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy to think about how quickly I've kind of progressed, and my age at the same time. It's I'm out there racing against some competitors, like David Macy this past weekend, who's a little bit older, and he's he's really tough and has a lot of experience. So being able to race with guys like that is really just an exceptional experience.
Well, Dalton, we appreciate you spending a little time with us. I know you're out of town. Are you not in Charlotte right now?
What's that?
You're not in Charlotte right now? Somebody said you were out of town?
No, yeah, I'm actually down in South Florida. I currently live in Fort Lauderdale right now.
Oh, okay. Well, we appreciate your time. We're going to let you get back to what you were doing. Thanks a lot, and hopefully we can get you back on here real soon.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you, man.
Thanks, bud.
Good luck.
Thank you.
There you go, Dalton.
Dalton Sargeant.
Sargeant.
And he is part of the NASCAR Next program.
Okay, I didn't know that.
And
I thought he was going to be older than
Call
17.
from Dave Adams. Say
Hello, Mr. Adams. How you doing, sir?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing good. We kind of run over a little bit. We're sorry. We kind of run over with Dalton a little bit. He was telling us real big.
Okay.
He was telling us stories on you.
That's okay.
He said once they figure out what you're doing, that they think you'll be pretty good.
Yeah, I hope so. I'm trying to learn.
Dave, a lot of people don't know you like I know you. You've got a lot of experience in racing, and tell us a little bit about where you got, how you got started, and to the point you are now.
I'm originally from Burlington, Vermont, and my dad started racing in 1965, and as soon as I could work on the car with him, I started working with him and at the shop, and then started going to the racetrack. My parents carried me around to the racetrack starting at age 2, so I've been going to the racetrack for most of my life. I worked for Kevin McCage up north on the American Canadian Tour, and decided that North Carolina was the place to be. We watched the Cup races and the nationwide races and all that stuff on TV, and that's what I wanted to do. I figured out that I wanted to come down here and race, and I came down here and did some late model stuff up in Virginia, up where I met Jack at. Raced at Southampton Speedway and all over the southeast was G&G Motorsports, which was Buck and Doug Dodsley at the time, achieved those cars, and we won a bunch of races, had a lot of good times, and I did that for a couple of years and decided that I was going to move up, and I moved down to North Carolina and ended up working with Shane Neal, and everybody knows that story. I was with Shane for about 6 years, and he ended up getting suspended from NASCAR for life for the drug policy.
Yeah.
And I had to pick up and keep going from there. I went to work for Bobby Gordon, and it just progressed from there. I stayed in the Cup Series for 10 years. I got to work with a lot of good drivers, and I kind of got burned out a little bit on the Cup schedule, traveling 36 weekends a year, and I decided that the K&N Series was for me. I went to work for Jesse Little last year at Little Racing. We won a race in New Hampshire, sat on a couple poles, and it really got the fire started in me again. And I decided over the wintertime, I talked to Mike Ricci and DJ Pushers from Spires, and they wanted us to come over and do a deal at H Scott Motorsports with Justin Marks, and it's been the best career move I've made so far because the schedule's great. I get to work with Dalton. I had no idea who I was going to get to work with when I went over there, because we had 5 teams, and I ended up, me and the crew chief Chris Bowen ended up going there together from Jesse. So this is our 2nd year working together. But I knew Chris raced late models at Motor Mile in South Boston, and I knew him, before we ever worked together. So it's been a wild ride so far in the K&N Series, and this year has been tremendous with Dalton. Of course, he's only 17 years old, and he comes from the European road racing background. I'm sure he told you all that stuff, and he's a great kid, and he's got an attitude just like Shane Neal. When I worked with Shane, Shane was probably one of the most talented drivers that I ever worked with, and I can see that same talent level in Dalton.
Every race that we
That's
finished
something,
this
yeah.
year, we finished in the top 3. Unfortunately, we had a crash at Bristol, and we had a flat tire at Iowa. So we're 5th in the points right now. But we got some road races coming up. We ran this weekend in Sonoma, and led every lap at the last, and we ended up finishing 2nd. So, and what we did win a West race earlier in the year. We went to Bakersfield, California, Kern County Speedway, and we won a race up there. So Dalton is very good for the experience that he's got on asphalt in these heavy cars, and I'm really looking forward to the rest of the year.
Yeah, you got a lot to look forward to there, because he seems to be a great talent. I mean, we saw him here at Langley, and I watched the race. Well, I didn't watch it. I followed the race this weekend. He seems to have all-round good talent. And I think they got somebody that's going to come along and be. Well, a lot of these young kids are doing it anyway. I mean, they're really coming along and being great race car drivers.
Yeah, Dalton has a talent level that very few people have, and he's got the desire to do it. He's not, one of these kids that does it just because he's got money. He does it because he wants to do it. He's impressed me a lot, just in the few races that I've been with him. When I first met him, and he came in the shop, you could tell he was a race car driver, and that's what he wanted to do. He's fun to be around. He gives us great feedback, when we're practicing. He can tell us what the car is doing. We can make good adjustments, and we always make the car faster, and we always seem to race really well. He's very smart for his age, behind the wheel of a race car.
How is it over there at Harry Scott with Justin Marks Racing? I mean, you got to have a good situation as far as being able to get the stuff you need to race with. You got your first line equipment, and yet when you go to the racetrack, your cars are the ones to beat.
Yeah, we have a really good situation over there. Obviously, it changed over the wintertime. It was Turner Scott, and Harry decided that he was going to take over that deal, and became H Scott Motorsports with Justin Marks. And both Harry and Justin give us ultimate support, when we go racing. We have everything we need to go racing and do it top notch. The difference between H Scott Motorsports and probably the rest of the K&N field is the personnel that we've got. I'd say 90% of the guys that are in the shop have, Cup experience, have been around it for a lot of years, and we've got a good mix of that with some young kids. And it just shows when we go to the racetrack. I mean, our cars are Cup quality when we get to the racetrack. I think we've got the nicest looking cars at the track, and obviously we run, in the top 5 every week. Bowman Gray, we finished 1, 2, 3, and this weekend we were, 2, 3, 5 with the 3 cars that we took out there out to the west on a road course with 2 guys that had never driven a K&N car on a road course before, with William Byron and the Dalton. So the future is bright. I mean, we've got 5 teams right now. Scott Heckert, Rico LaBrue, Dalton, William. And JJ Haley. We're very good. I mean, and like I said, it's the personnel. It's not necessarily equipment. I mean, everybody can get the same equipment that we have. Steve Levitt does a tremendous job building our cars for us, our chassis. And then, the people at the shop put them together, and the road guy. It's just a big team effort. It's not 5 separate teams. It's one big team, and then when we go to the racetrack, we just race each other.
Yeah, it's a good situation. I really, I like what you all got over there. I like all the people there, and it's really cool that you're there, and Kevin Bellancourt is over there. These are guys that I've known for a while, since I started going down there and being around the racing, and it's really good to see you guys having a lot of success.
Right, yeah, a lot of us that are there at H Scott Motorsports have worked together in the past, either in the Nationwide Series or the Cup Series, and we've ended up back together, doing the K&N Pro Series, and it's fun. I mean, it's not like you walked into a situation where you didn't know anybody. We all know each other. We know what we can do, and we've got a bunch of strong people, and that's Mike Ricci is the general manager. He runs that deal. He knows. He's been around it for years and years. He knows the talent, and he picks the best of the best to come there. And it just, like I said, the personnel is outstanding compared to some of the other teams. Obviously there's some good guys on some other teams, but we've got the best of the best. And with the support of Harry and Justin and everybody that we've got, and these kids, we've got an Xfinity car, we've got 2 Cup cars. So there is an opportunity for these kids to move up if they run good and stay with Harry and Justin.
Now, let's reflect back on those years at Southampton Speedway when you were out there.
Yeah, that's what I want to get to.
Yeah, we want to hear some stories.
Tell us the truth. How good was Jack? I mean, I understand he can start and park a mini stock with the best of them.
Don't go there, Dave.
Jack's a great guy. I've known him for a lot of years.
I noticed he didn't say anything about your driving ability.
Yeah, I'm trying to avoid that.
I already like Dave.
But, Jack came out there, obviously being from the area, and he watched us run. We had a 2-car team that ran at Southampton, and we won a lot of races at Southampton Speedway. And unfortunately, a lot of the stories I can't repeat on the radio because sometimes we had to fight our way out of there. But
you got that right.
Had good times, man. Yeah, I got lucky. I had a team that had plenty of money. We had good equipment, and again, we had good people, and I had a good driver with Dodsons. And we ran good everywhere we went. We've been to Martinsville. We went to Myrtle Beach, the bigger late model races, and ran competitively, everywhere we went.
Now
and Jack kind of followed us around a little bit, and he's kept close tabs of my career for quite a while.
No, I sure have. I've been around you a lot. I mean, kind of lost track of you there for a little while you were out of racing, but I tell you what, the times I've come down and hung out with you at the, in the shop and stuff, I know you're a class act when it comes to the racetrack and what you're doing.
I appreciate that. I try to be as professional as I can at all times, and I'm very serious about my job. I'm probably a different guy, outside of racing than I am at the shop or at the track. I'm very serious. I'm pretty quiet. And I just want to win. I can't stand to lose. We're going to win our share this year. We're going to hit our stride here. We get to go to Watkins Glen. We get to go to VIR. This weekend we run Columbus, Ohio. And we should be strong at all these tracks that are coming up. Last year, Chris and I, went to New Hampshire with Jesse and won a race. So it's becoming our time. We've got to win some races to get back in the point. We're not points racing right now. We're trying to win, and like I said, Dalton, I think I've got the best driver in K&N behind the wheel of our car.
Well, I asked you this question when you were at Langley. With all this, has the fire come back? You said you kind of got burnt out with racing and everything. Has the fire come back that you really want to do this and really want to be successful again?
Yeah, I don't think I'll ever cup race again. To be honest with you, if I was in a cup situation, Dalton went, cup racing, then I would probably do something in the shop, preparing the cars in the shop. But I don't want, my situation's a little bit different. I'm a little bit older than some of these guys, and family has become more important, and I've got a daughter that I want to be home around and support her in what she does, and it's I've got a very, very nice home situation now, compared to when I was traveling every weekend. 36 weekends a year is a lot, and you've been in the Cup garage. You ask anybody up and down the garage area,
yeah.
And it's tough. It's really tough, and it's for the young guys, man. If you're between 20 and 35, that's probably the thing for you to do. But I just decided that it wasn't for me anymore. But the fire to race and to be competitive, it never stopped. It just, I needed to find the right situation where I could be home more, but still do what I want to do. I'm very passionate about what I do, and you know, I want Dalton to be the 2015 K&N Pro Series champion, and that's what we're working towards. I mean, that's what they pay us to do.
Well, I hope I'm gonna try to get out to VRR and see you when you're out at VRR. But I tell you, Dave, I really appreciate everything you've ever done for me and Lee and everything that you've done for us. You are a great guy. I really appreciate you taking time to be with us tonight. I know you got other things to do, but it means a lot to have you on, and hopefully I can get you back on here real soon, and we can talk about some more wins.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I'd like to come back on and you know and talk about the K&N series anytime that you guys wanna talk. And you know, Jack, you've done a lot for me in my career. You know, you've always supported me, and it's kind of different to have a guy that's a fan of a crew guy, you know, or a crew chief. And I've worked with your son Lee on multiple occasions. I saw Lee this weekend at Sonoma, and I mentioned that I'd seen you at Langley, and he's doing fine. He said he'll call soon.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold my breath on that one because he stays pretty busy.
Yeah, he's doing good, and you know he's very successful too. You know, being on the 24 car, so it's good to see guys that I've worked with, you know, doing that and being successful. Or hopefully, I played a little bit of a hand in getting him where he's at. You know.
Well, Dave, you know you did. You played a big role to get him. You got him back into racing when he got laid off over at JTG. You helped get him back into racing, and you played a big part in what he's doing right now. And that's one of the things I really appreciate you being a part of.
It's no problem. You know, I mean, your whole family. You know, I've met multiple members of your family, and you guys have always supported me in whatever I've done. And you know, whether it was JTG or Phoenix Racing or I was at Robbie Gordon's, you know, everybody has supported me, and it means a lot. And you know, I'm gonna keep doing this as long as I can, and I'm gonna go out and win some more races. I haven't won a race since 2011, so you know, except for the West race that we won this year. But I want to win an East race. That's what we do. That's where we run for the. You know, we're running for that championship. We got to win an East race. I mean, that's important. I know it's important for Dalton. It's important for the team. It's important for Harry Scott. We're going to do it, and hopefully it's coming real soon.
Well, hopefully we'll run into you up at VRR. I'm gonna do my best to get up there, and
you know, you're always welcome to come hang out with us and spend the day with us and hang out on top of the pit box or whatever, and you know, we'll show you the best hospitality we can.
Hey, I just like being around you, man, because that's what it's all about. You're a good friend. I appreciate everything you've done, and hopefully we'll get you back on here real soon.
I appreciate it, Jack, and thanks a lot, Scott. I appreciate you having me on too. I know I don't think I've met Scott yet, but I'm sure I'll meet you if you're hanging out with that guy.
Yeah, just don't hold it against me.
I promise I won't. And, just don't let Jack drive, okay?
All right, Dave, you fired that last shot. I'm going to let you go on that one.
Thanks, Dave.
All right, man. Appreciate you.
Y'all have a good night.
You too, man.
Thanks.
I'm sure that is fun to see somebody that you locally raced with and has been successful. And I mean, hey, successful to me is if you're doing this for a living, you're successful.
Yeah.
And he's like he said, he came to Southampton. He ran the late model.
I thought he said Doug Gotze, but I was like, there's ain't the one. Was Buck racing back there?
Buck was racing.
No
back.
wonder they about fought every week leaving the racetrack.
I'm gonna tell you what. There was some nights that I wasn't sure they were going to come out of the racetrack.
Was it that rough there?
Those guys.
It was the group.
Okay.
Yeah. Look, when we were racing, they were racing over at Langley at the time. Buck was, and Doug was just starting to race. And I don't know, we were wrecking with them like every week, it seemed like. And we were going to go run the late model at Wilkesboro. So it was like a week before, and we were all, everybody but the driver was like, look, let's not run the car this weekend at Langley. Because then it was every week you run late model, every week. Let's not go to Langley and tear the car up so we can have a good piece for Wilkesboro. Because we'd always done really well going out of town. For whatever reason, the bigger tracks we done well.
Right.
So sure enough, it's like, oh, let's go, we'll be fine. So somehow he got into it with Doug. Doug sat on the, not exit, but the entrance of pit road, and when we come across, he creamed us.
No.
Yeah, it sure did.
Oh,
I mean, the car was destroyed.
He had a lot of tough times, and Buck was worse than Doug.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna tell you
Buck
something.
didn't care. He had the money to fix it. He didn't care.
But that will tell you something. That old man, when he was racing at Southampton, he was older than a lot of people. He had a heart attack one Sunday morning after he raced on Saturday night. He had a heart attack. He was racing the next Saturday night.
Ouch.
Yeah, he did.
He
was quite a character. I mean, he was really funny to be around because he didn't care.
No, that was his passion. And he was going to be there one way or the other. He may not have felt like he should have been there.
Right.
It was kind of one of those things. If you bump him once, he's going to bump you twice.
But Dave's work. And we're talking about Dave. Dave worked with a lot of good people along the way. He was at JTG when Lee was there. He went to Phoenix, and Lee went to Phoenix right behind him. He's worked with David Strimming when David Strimming first started out his team that Michael Waltrip drove for a couple years ago, the 30 car.
Mm-hmm.
Then he sold out to this other guy, and now it's no longer involved, no longer in racing. But
that's right, Swan.
Yeah, Dave was there with them, and of course he was with Robbie Gordon's Cup car.
I was telling him a story about when you asked him about coming on the show, Dave Strimming, and what he said.
I forgot what was.
He said you ain't with the talk show.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, he's been around a lot. But speaking of JTG, I meant to talk about this. They had a great opportunity for a chance to win a race this weekend.
If they had a car that could have won it.
And that's tough, man. You don't ever remember. I've won a few races in arena racing. I can remember the ones.
Wait a minute. Let's check the history books.
Yeah, you can check it. I can remember the ones that you thought you should have won more than the ones you did win. Because there was one, I thought I was going to get arrested when I left because I stole that one. I
do remember that one.
Yeah, the guy was leading. I mean, the third place guy. It was like half the race. I didn't block him. I just run my line, and I thought he was going to tear the rear bumper off the car. He was obviously faster than me, but he couldn't get a run beside me. He couldn't get along beside me, so I just kept running my line, and JT would come over and he was like, "Man, if you just want to let him go," I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, if he knocks me up the racetrack, then he'll go on by. But until then." I mean, it was every lap. He knocked it. And I would go in the corner a little slow just because I knew he was going to give me a shot. And he just helped me roll through the center of the corner, really. And it come down to one to go. I looked at the white flag, and I looked, and the leader's right in front of me. He had come up on some lap cars and started taking it easy. He just figured he had enough space between us and him because he had us by a straightaway or more. And when I got down into 3, and I got the boy beating on my back bumper. I mean, the win is right there, and I got into him, knocked him up on 2 wheels, and both of us went by. He ended up finishing 3rd. I ended up winning the race. But
a win's a win.
It's still in the record book. I meant to say when they interviewed me, I'm waiting for the cops to come over because I stole this one. But you remember those ones like JTD lost this weekend is what I was just trying to say.
That was a tough one.
And I felt bad for him because that AJ, this was like, this and
this is it. This is the one that I have a shot.
Well, this one is what's the other one? Watkins Glen is going to be his shot to get in.
Yeah.
But we had a good show. Damn, I can't even think of the word I'm trying to say. Our stuff didn't crash.
Oh. I kept watching it.
So did I. I looked at it when it got to yellow a few times. I was like, it'd go back down, but I only did it when the mic went up.
Yeah.
So I think we might be on to something. Great show. Joe made it this week.
And now that you're a permanent resident of Portsmouth, we're going to see you a lot more.
Yes, you will.
All right, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna. We need somebody to kind of keep things. You know.
Well, I mean, you give us plenty
Mitigate.
of stuff to joke on. So
Yeah.
Me,
yeah.
Vaughan, Crittenden, had never won a race until you quit racing.
Well, you know,
What?
I actually haven't done a
Maybe
Google search
maybe that's
yet.
saying. Just put starting part. Or
Oh,
SP
no.
SP.
Oh, no.
I did it one time,
Uh-huh.
and it wasn't really a
And
starting
see,
part.
it's going to go to your grave with you, man.
Well, I didn't do
Good
it,
history.
but it wasn't really a starting part. I did
We've heard you.
23 of the 25 laps. I did 23
It
laps,
doesn't matter where you started and where you parked at.
and I wasn't the first car out. I was just the first car that went off the track so he could get back to do the kids race, and that's all I'm going to say about it.
Say what you want.
Was not
Well,
a
he has said the story the same time the last 15 times we heard it, so there might be some.
It wasn't the
truth to it.
starting part.
There is
You know,
no-
hey, Dave didn't. I mean, Dave didn't defend him on it.
No, he didn't.
So I'm not gonna talk about that stuff.
Pretty,
That's all right.
I'm not gonna talk about that
politically
starting
correct.
part stuff.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call Dave tonight on the way home. We're gonna get that straight.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week.
See you next
Thank
week.